So I just got done with like a 2-mile walk, and oh my God, shockingly, it was 1.98 miles. I did not round up. I'm very proud of myself for doing that. Because if you know, you know. And the little piece of me is dying inside that I didn't round it to 2 miles, but fuck. Yeah, so at the tail end of my walk, I was, spiritual psychosis came to mind, and I have to put this down. Sorry, I'm gonna make you dizzy walking all around, but I'm trying to like do life as I do this. So spiritual psychosis, I think I've been there, but I also know, this is gonna sound crazy, but people who are spiritual get it. I also know that I see beyond the beyond, and I see things that most people don't, and most people would probably put you in a psych ward for, right? Should I even put that out there? Because those of us who have awakened and are continuing on our journey of awakening, I think we get it, right? I need to pause this a minute. Okay. So on this spiritual journey, it's been compounded with trauma, right? PTSD, with an ongoing situation. It's been compounded by trauma through divorce and grief also from that, as well as grief from my brother's death 4 years ago. We're in 2025, so September, it will be 5 years that he's been not on this earth, which is weird. It's just weird. It's weird. Anyways, we're not going to get into that right now, I don't think. But so yeah, I think I've gone through a spiritual psychosis, but however, at the same time, I don't think I truly have, because we're going to look that up right now. All right? Definition of spiritual psychosis.
Okay, I found this on the web for definition.
Well, of course, Siri's not going to be helpful, but basically it was like where you're seeing and hearing things that aren't there. And yes, I do take gummies and I smoke weed, and I'm able to connect to that higher realm without this getting in the way, because I connect to it anyways, right? So I'm really exploring this, and I think that I don't think that if I had not been triggered in the way that I've been being triggered, right? With people invading my privacy, and there's nothing that you could say that tells me otherwise, because I know it's been going on. I have a feeling that people are trying to get me to believe something other than that fact. Oh my God, it's actually going to stay. Okay. And I could be wrong. I'm open to, God, my tits look so fucking big. Dude, they're really not that big. I don't think so, but they could be smaller in my opinion. I always wanted, I don't know, did I? I feel like I wanted smaller boobs because, like, I always didn't want to wear a bra. I just stopped wearing a bra. This really took a turn. We'll get back to the spirituality, but I stopped wearing a bra, and I just wear like these undershirts. Kind of keeps them smushed down. They're probably sagging a lot more now, but I mean, who the fuck am I trying to impress? I'm all about comfort, so let it fly, babe. Let it fly. So spiritual psychosis, I have been hearing this somewhat on TikTok, but I don't know enough about it to understand really. So that's why I'm kind of talking this through. Maybe somebody can give me some education on this. I do know I go through spiritual awakenings and jumping timelines. So, okay, I wanted to talk about the Matrix, which is basically a glorified computer program. Who is to say that we're not in some computer sim? You can't disprove it, right? Can you truly disprove that this is all like some or not some computer simulation or a thought in some person's mind? It's like you can't really disprove or prove it. And my smile is so crooked. A crooked smile. So see, random shit. Anyways, yeah. So now I'm like, why have I always done that to one side? Who knows? Spiritual psychosis and spiritual ascensions, and the spiritual journey. I know that there's more to us than this. And that's where it becomes very complicated, because seriously, what is the meaning of like this life? Like, what's the purpose of all this? Certainly there is. I have to turn Taylor on. I need background noise. I just do. So it's like, what is, and then I get distracted. What's the point of all this? And I think I touched on it briefly in another video or another whatever somewhere. And I'm always playing with my hair. I know, right? Let me collect my thoughts. I think the real reason why I jumped on to do this is because I am curious about the spiritual psychosis. I've seen some shit. I've seen some fucking wild shit in the last couple of months. Shit that would make you question your own sanity. And I don't feel like that was psychosis. I feel like I'm just that connected. And maybe somebody can shed light on what the psychosis part is, but I'm cognizantly aware. So that leads me to believe that I because I'm aware, it's like I know that I'm not hearing voices. I don't know what like schizophrenia is, but I mean I do know, but what I'm saying is I haven't experienced that, so I don't know. I hear people hear voices. Like one of my friends was genuinely concerned about me. They thought I was having a nervous breakdown or some shit like that, so to speak. And no disrespect to my friend, I truly appreciate the caring and concern, but I think like when things are off or not right. And I have a very strong intuition. I'm divinely guided, divinely protected. So that's it makes everything. You can't just talk to anybody about this shit. And that's why TikTok has been powerful. There was a live the other day talking about the Matrix and the glitches and just really off the wall out there shit, like to most people. But to me, it's like a second language. To me, it makes sense without like having the knowledge of it all, like the Matrix. Like what? I mean, I know of the movie, and I've said I need to go watch the movie again because I don't think I ever saw it. I wish my brother was alive, because maybe he'd be in California with me. Doubtful, but maybe. I choose to believe that we're in another life together, me and him and my family, right, my parents, and that we are living our best lives, the lives that we didn't get a chance to live. So yeah, I'm just gonna tuck that one away. This is how I process. I don't know. And I don't know why I'm posting this shit other than I feel compelled to, and it's weird and it's uncomfortable. It's being vulnerable, putting shit out there. Like once you post something these days, I don't think you can take it back. Can you? I don't know. Yeah, I'd be curious to know that. Because if one person sees it, then they copy it and they have it forever, and then it just follows the chain of whatever. Similar to gossip, but interesting. Gossip, yeah, no thanks. I mean, unless we're lifting people up, I'm really not about that. And I got sucked into that for a second. I'm not embarrassed to admit that. It's not the kind of person I want to be. Doesn't mean I can't be that person, because I can in an instant. I want to be somebody who lifts people up, who cheers them on, who sees the good in people, who elevates people, who, I don't know, just supports other people. I mean, life is too short. As I look at a picture of my family of 4, who's now a family of 3, and soon will be a family of 1. Well, 2, but 1. That's weird. I don't know why that all took place, but my immediate family is what I'm looking at, with my brother being dead. It's just, okay, so spirituality, whatever. So being that he's dead, he and I have a more close relationship than we ever did when he was alive, because you take all of the fucking 3D shit. It's like fucking gone, right? It's gone. you break down that barrier of all the guilt, the shame, the shouldas, the wouldas, the couldas, all the shit. It doesn't mean I don't miss him terribly. The last couple weeks have been rough. I've missed him terribly because there's some things I would like to talk to him about in the 3D, because he might have some ideas, might have some insight, and this song is incredible. Taylor Swift is the most incredible lyricist on the fucking planet of all time. All time. So I started this about spiritual psychosis. I don't think I've been there, but I have seen a lot of shit. Some shit that literally makes you think that you're in a movie. And maybe that's what psychosis is. I don't know, but I do know. I know the shit I see. I know the shit that I sense. I know I'm divinely guided and protected. So, you know, there's people who are psychics, and I guess I'm unraveling my spiritual journey is what I'm doing, while in the throes of being in active trauma. I mean, I'm coming out the tail end of it. I'm processing trauma, and thank you to the people who have allowed me such incredible gifts. I mean, truly, even though the 3D world is fucked up with it, truly in the spiritual realm, and I come back to this all the time, it's helping me love myself on levels I didn't even know were possible. So when something is going on in life, it is really making me pause and think about this. I mean, we call in everything, right? I mean, what part of us wants child abuse? What part of us wants abuse of any kind? What part of us? It's weird, right? So why do we come to this earth? Like, what's the purpose of it all? And I touched on it in another video, and I guess it's that we can't evolve in like spiritual form, right? If we're just this energy, we have to have some kind of vessel that maybe propels us into this kind of growth. And how do we do that? And is this even real? Do you see how it's all connected? Like the Matrix, I'm starting to feel a little bit dissociated and like heady. So I want to take a moment and just ground and like be in my space. And I'm not sure, is that like, why would I feel heady to talk about this? Because you're putting shit out into the world that most people don't understand. And it's not to dumb anybody down. It's not to anything, but a lot of the people you start talking about spirituality and psychics and intuition, and they fear it. It's so weird. And like, I was born this way, and it's not that I was born like with these gifts right off the bat, but I was just born this way. But everyone holds the same power. That's the thing. That's the cool thing. If you tap into it, you can grow it and you can expand it. And then how cool would that be? We all fucking come together on this higher frequency and plane where your life is completely mind-blowingly amazing and unimaginable, but imaginable at the same time. And I think this is bouncing all around because I keep wanting to go back to the Matrix. So who's to say what is true? Who's to say that this is or isn't all a simulation? How can you disprove that? That's what I'm saying. Like, nobody can disprove. I mean, there's quantum physics, right? Don't know much about that. Quantum entanglement, I don't know much about that, but it's like, I know that it's like everything is like all at the same time, it's fucking mind-blowing. Like, we're so remedial as a human race, and that's not to disrespect anybody, but seriously, think about it. We're so fucking remedial. It's wild. You know, I look back and, you know, I've always been drawn to the Egyptians and the pyramids, and I mean, hence the Egyptian Shen, right? That's all you're gonna get. You're gonna get it upside down. And that, so it's like double infinity. I mean, it's just me being silly. But you can't disprove it. You can't disprove that this is or is not a matrix. You can't disprove the spiritual or not spiritual realm. You can't disprove that we're like some like world on a speck of dust. Like, we don't truly, like, do we truly know? And with that, is like, this is not spiritual psychosis. This is spiritual exploration. And this is the shit that I think about, like, often. And how I connect with other people's energies. This has been something new that's coming up for me, is, and it happens a lot when I'm stoned, which has been more lately. I mean, I'm not ashamed to admit that. I am trying to navigate how I want to speak this. I don't feel like I'm dependent on the weed, but it definitely helps me open up more spiritually, and it alleviates it allows me to breathe. Because as of late, things have been very stressful. The energy, very, very heavy. And I've said before, I don't even think it's mine. Because I'm in my own fucking bubble, living my own creative life, enjoying things, but at the same time, and I'm creating these dramas outside of myself, which has helped me to own my own energy and my own power. And I hope this is making sense, but it's like we create our own shit, right? Calling in everything for my highest and greatest good. Well, sometimes, shit, personality, other people, shit, they're a mirror, right? People, we're all, the interconnectedness is so, like, fascinating. We're all interconnected. It's like me against me, essentially. So what if, here's another theory, what if, like, in my mind, maybe this is me in a simulation and I've created everybody. Can you disprove that? Like, what? And it's not Katniss. It's not giving Katniss vibes. It's, oh my God. Triss. Yeah. Like Triss vibes, like in the Sims, in the simulations, right? She's doing all these things and it's so real. What if life is like that? What if life is like a video game? Oh my God. How many lives do I have? Infinite. But then, so that's just like playing around with shit, right? Because there's all these what ifs and we honestly, truly don't know. I do know there's energy and there's a soul. I do know that. Okay. But all the other shit is fluff. It's like theories, and it's wildly fascinating. So why would I have people treat me like shit? Well, so I could find, I think ultimately my goal on this earth was self-love and self-respect and self-everything, because I think I struggled with this for my entire life. I didn't want to rock the boat. I didn't want to cause problems. I wanted everyone to get along. I wanted to be the peacemaker. By not speaking up, I don't know. I thought standing up for myself, like, oh no, people are going to know that I'm onto them, or mad at them, or upset with them, or they're going to know I know. And it's like, who the fuck gives a shit? So they know. Because I think I was taught, maybe, I mean, I'm not going to relate, maybe I'll delve into it. I don't know. I was taught that you don't speak out. Was I taught that? I don't know. That's what I felt. Like, it's like, shh, don't tell anybody, you know? That is probably a deep childhood issue. Secrets will keep you sick, and that's what AA taught me. I was always told as a I shouldn't say it always, but I was told as a child that, like, don't tell Lisa, she can't keep a secret. And I don't think I intentionally did it. I think I had this need to communicate. there's two sides to that. One is secrets do keep you sick, especially secrets from your childhood. And when I say your, I mean me, because I'm speaking about myself, but I guess I do that in third person more than I know. So secrets kept me sick. So when I got into AA, I wanted to understand me. Like, why was I the way I was? Why was I fucking actively trying to kill myself with these pills, these fucking pain pills I got hooked on? I'll never forget it. It was Memorial Day weekend. I was at a park, I think in Lake Worth, Florida. The person I was dating, her mom split half a yellow Percocet, gave us each half because my ex and I were not good for each other. Not healthy. Abusive. Okay. Anyways, I was fucking hooked, and it was probably all the turmoil in the relationship coupled with this thing that, oh my God, it ignited something in me. And I dabbled in drinking. Alcohol was never, still isn't my thing, probably because the household I grew up in, right? Alcohol was the drug of choice in my household. And weed, I didn't like smoking weed because it made my head like squished. Let me tell you what, the fucking shit they have out now, I mean, fast forward 20-ish years later, no comparison. Got no problems with that. So where was I going with this? That's a really good question. Addiction. I don't know, other than secrets. So when I got into AA, after, I think the pill addiction was like three years, maybe 4. It was through the entirety of another relationship aside from the one I just told you about, because I got out of that one into another one, like simultaneously. Yeah, not my proudest moments. Not my proudest moments, that's for sure. However, I've healed those traumas, which is beautiful. Beautiful, incredibly beautiful. So the secrets, keep you sick. And I got into AA after going through treatment, and I'm like, oh my God, I found my people, right? So I know my nose is itchy, my hair is in my face, it's driving me nuts. So I found my people, and then I got a sponsor, and they're like, do what they say. And I was like a puppet. Yeah, I'll do whatever the fuck. Like, because I didn't know, my way was not working. My way was killing me, right? And I truly didn't want to die. I used to go to sleep at night saying, please God, wake me up. And then I would hear people in the rooms that would say, please God, let me die. And it's like, I was never that person. I didn't want to die. I wanted to live, but I just didn't know how. I didn't know how. So I get into the rooms of AA, find a sponsor in the women's bathroom, of all places. Like, things just unfold. It's beautiful how things flow. Yeah, she was an integral part of my healing, and I will always treasure her. And the step work, luckily, because the kind of person I am, intuitively picked somebody who this type of, I have to blow my nose, excuse me. Okay. This type of step work, I forget what they named it, but it was step work that you wrote. It was a lot of writing, like a front and back page of writing for each occurrence, right? And it was broken into categories. I would sit at the table, and I know I've spoken about this, but this was how much I wanted to understand myself. Why was I fucking killing myself with these pills? And why did I hate myself? I fucking hated me. I hated myself so much, and I didn't even know why. Because I think I'm an amazing person. And so why did I hate myself? I think now, as the person I am sitting here, my best guess is that I was a very unhealed, traumatized person who didn't know how to cope. I had like fucking zero coping skills. And I was a trauma after trauma after trauma, and repeating behaviors after repeating behaviors, which continued in sobriety until I went through the trauma work and healing these babies, my inner children, healing them and loving them, because that's all we really ever need. All you need is love. It's so contrite, is that even the right word? But that's the word that came to mind, so we'll leave it. I can't even tell you the definition of the word, but so this all ties into spirituality. Believe me, it does, because doing this step work allowed me to, I wrote it out on paper, right? So that was one, processing the flow, getting it out, like getting all this shit, everything I've done to people, everything people have done to me, like everything I could fucking think of, probably down to me kicking a dog. I did. It was, I'm embarrassed to say it, and I am heartbroken that I did this, but I did. I think we go with what we know, right? We act out things that we know. And I did that twice to a dog when I was 7-ish. I am going to publicly speak about this because it's my truth. And there's a little piece of me that's like, no, shh. When I was about 7, I put my hands around the dog's throat and I was choking the dog. And I don't remember if I was doing this or not, but we do what's done to ourselves, right? I'm just going to leave that where it is. I don't need to divulge any more information on that. But, you know, as a child, I think we act out things, and I was acting that out. And I think my 7-year-old self realized that in the moment, and holy shit, I'm doing exactly what was done to me. Which, I mean, that phrasing bears a lot of weight for me personally, and it takes me along many different instances where people have acted out things that were done to them, and they've done it to me. But the other time that I actually kicked a dog, it really breaks my heart that I did this to another being. I got angry and I kicked the dog. Literally, I did. I don't know. I don't remember how hard. I don't remember why. My heart breaks for that young girl. I think I was around 12. I don't remember. I just remember where I was and doing it and the reaction of the dog, and I immediately felt remorse. And I think I questioned why I did that. And I think some of these instances that have happened to me have saved, even though they're awful. They're awful, right? Who fucking abuses a dog? Who abuses a child? I never have abused a child. I'll just say that right now. Children deserve to be protected, as do dogs. I mean, but I know that now. And even in my most unhealed state, I can never abuse a child. Ever. Ever. I couldn't. But I do question, because of my past experiences, had I been a parent, how would I have parented my child? And I touched upon this in a video or some podcast or something. I want to flip my hair so bad. It's driving me nuts. So there you go. But it's in my face, so it's like whatever. But I question, what kind of parent would I be? Because based on my experiences, and this is not to diss my parents, they did the best they could with what they had. I think as does everybody. But would I have chosen better? And my hopeful answer would be yes. I would have chosen better for my kid. But I don't know. I truly don't know. And we got off topic, spirituality and fucking spiritual psychosis. And to me, these thoughts are not spiritual psychosis. You know, they're opening one's lens, like, right? I think we're so oppressed. Like, this world is so... It's this video I said it in, right? We're so remedial. We're so advanced, but we're not advanced at all. And I started talking about Egyptians and the pyramids and like, how were those built? You're telling me that these fucking, like, however tall an Egyptian is, I don't fucking know, 5 foot something, 6 foot, maybe back then, because there have been documentations of giants, right, existing. I know in the book Flower of Life, there was talk about like giants existing, and these things that are carved into the stone, I believe in Egypt, how people were like huge, right? So why haven't we found any fossils of that though? Maybe we have. There's so much that we don't even fucking know that it's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. So how do we tap into that? And I think it's all spiritual. And what does that mean? Because if spirituality exists, which is love and everything, right? Then then the absence of that is, right? So maybe this is the world, and maybe this is the new world. And aren't we at the 5D, 3D? I mean, the split's already occurring, right? And that leads me to another thing that I want to speak on, and how when frequency shifts and things shift, this is no disrespect to people that I have known that are no longer like in my immediate life, but there are people who literally seem like a 2D representation, like a drawing, like a flat Stanley, if you will. They're so far removed from my energy that it's almost like it never happened. And that's not like the people who are currently in my life right now, right? This is people who, oh gosh, I'm trying to think of how best to gently put this, but you know how like you have people from high school and it's like, oh yeah, I remember like the face, the name, similar to that. But people who had been in my life for years, I mean, intimately. What is that? Never. I mean, as quickly as I forgot, because I didn't forget. So what, is my mind protecting me, or is this like a complete energy shift? It's just really curious to me how much of life is really in the mind, or simulation, or whatever, right? And how much of it is spiritual? Is it a mix of both all the time, or is one more prevalent? So spiritual psychosis, I am curious about that. Also a little bit of afraid of it, but I think I started talking about it because I don't know a lot about it, and I would assume that if somebody heard the shit that I've seen, if I were to truly speak about like on video chronologically what I've witnessed unfold and what my plausible I'm losing my train of thought. My thoughts and what I think to be true in a spiritual sense. If I were to say that, people might be like, this chick is in fucking spiritual psychosis. But I'm in reality. I'm in my own reality. And what is that anyways, by the way? What is reality, right? Who makes this shit up? And that's another video I spoke up on when I was playing piano and doing all the creative stuff. Who makes up these rules? We call this a cup because somebody said the name for this is cup. Well, who the fuck made that up? Maybe and I've said this before, but maybe there's some root Latin word or however words were made to English. I don't fucking know the intricacies of that. I don't need to know. I just know I like words. But just because somebody says it's true or this is what it is, no. Fuck that. Like, make up your own shit. You don't have to believe shit about shit, right? You don't have to believe me at all. I don't give a fuck if you do, honestly. This is my truth. I do this for me and hopefully to find other people like me and bring us closer together, because this is a lonely road. This has not been easy. It's very lonely. Not many people get it. And And that's okay. That's okay. But my goal, I think, through all this is I just want to lift people up, because I know what it's like to be not lifted up. I know what it's like to be sitting at a table full of people and they're laughing about you. Yeah, I do. I know a lot more about the whole situation than I let on. But yeah, that takes some strength. So even though I think I called this into my life in a spiritual sense to elevate me, because when you ask to be elevated, and trust me, if you do, you fucking will be elevated. Truly, I gave my heart to God because I know there's a higher purpose for me here, and I'm discovering that, but I don't really know it completely. There's a higher purpose for me on this earth, and I have been born with the strength to endure. I'm a fucking endurance athlete, for God's sakes, Christ's sakes, fuck sakes, what all the sakes, right? I'm an endurance athlete, and I might not be athleting right now, but it's still in me. I don't give up, ever. I will never give up. You will see me come and flow and come and flow and go and whatever all that shit is. But I will never give up. And I think that's an incredible gift. I don't know what it means to give up. Like, I might shift and move and change, but I think I've been through the depths of hell more times than I realize. And that brings me back to the addiction thing, right? When you're in something like that, and self-hating and self-loathing so incredibly much, and it just perpetuates more and more and more and more. Yeah. Self-discovery. Why did I hate myself? That's what I'm so curious about. People walking around hating them fucking selves. And I get it, because I used to be one of them. But why? Why do we hate ourselves? Like, we should be loving ourselves like the mostness ever. Like, love yourself. I was so afraid to get to know myself. And I'll say this again and again and again and again. I know I said in this video, I wanted to know myself, and I truly did, because I wanted to understand what made me tick? Why was I hating myself so much? But then you get through the trauma, right? You get to the trauma, and I was really afraid of certain aspects of my personality. My therapist, we have such a beautiful connection. I haven't spoken to her in some time, but we will always have this bond. She is my heart. Such a beautiful soul. I can't say enough amazingness about her. Truly gifted, an angel, truly. But working through those layers, I was very afraid of this little tiny baby who cast this great big shadow, who wanted to kill everybody, right? I mean, that's not who I am, but this was a part of me that was so deeply wounded and angry and fierce and rageful, and didn't know how to express themselves. So maybe that's why I do this. I don't know what the purpose of this shit is. I just know I'm being called to do it, so I'm doing it. So spiritual psychosis, if you know about it, and if you see this video, drop me something. Like, let's talk about it, and let's talk about the spiritual journey with this 5D, 3D, whatever split. I don't know all the lingo. I just know how I feel. I know what I'm going through. I know what I've seen, and I'm telling you, it's like next level fucking Matrix shit. I kid you not. Like, I could probably write this as a movie, and I probably just might do that. Because I couldn't write a better story. The way things are unfolding, maybe I am writing it. And there's another concept for you. I'll leave you with that. So what if I am writing this? Like, I'm scripting this as it unfolds. I mean, let's think about that. That's kind of matrixy, right? So let me go matrix the shit out of myself. Have a great day, and look in the mirror and tell yourself you are amazing, because I think you're amazing and you are worthy of love and all good things. Even if you've done shit things in life, like I have. I've done shit things. You are worthy. You are worthy. And if you don't know about the spiritual journey and you're curious, do research. Look up things. See what resonates with you. That's where I started. Because when I first got sober, my self-identity, I had none my whole life. It was everything else. It was my mom. It was my job. It was everything outside of myself but myself. So for those who have kids, I would bet, your identity is your kids, because I would imagine that to be so for myself if I had real babies instead of my inner babies. So if you're curious, drop me a line. I don't mind sharing what I've been through. I don't know how I do a lot of the things I do. I just do them. And I'm also on this self-discovery of learning my new gifts and different things, and what works, what doesn't work, what feels good, what doesn't feel good. And I'm talking about everything from what flavor coffee I want to how I touch myself when I pleasure myself. And I'm not embarrassed about that. I think that's why I'm saying self-exploration from everything, from top to bottom, everything in between. I think it's a beautiful relationship I'm on with myself. And as far as a partner, they'll come when they're supposed to. I'm not worried about that. I know that I'm becoming the best version of myself, so I can be the best version of myself for them. And it's not to say that my last relationship was awful and they weren't a good person, because they truly are an amazing person who deserves the world. It just wasn't with me. We couldn't have that level up, and that's what I'm seeking. Somebody who, I don't want perfect. I don't want perfect at all. I want the willingness to be open, the willingness to grow, right? And not that my last partner wasn't willing to grow. It's just we weren't, to me, my perspective, compatible. We weren't compatible in the ways that I needed the compatibility. And doesn't mean I don't love her. I love and respect her deeply, and I will, always. So if you're on the spiritual journey and you don't know where to go, start researching, pull up some shit online, which can be really confusing. But maybe if you like something about somebody, ask them, hey, I saw you did this. How did you do that? I'm just like spouting out shit. I don't fucking know, because I don't really do that. So maybe I should take my own advice. I don't know. But I do pick up pieces of what I like from other people sometimes, and I utilize that, because we're all here to collectively learn from each other and love each other. And Taylor Swift is amazing. She is a pioneer in so many things, and I fucking love this chick. So wait, let me get my heart rate. That's hilarious. So it's like, in a world full of chaos and turmoil, there's a lot of shit going on in the world. I don't watch the news. I don't know what's going on. I know we have a different president. I know that there's a lot of shit going on. Excuse me. I stay away from it. I'm learning to navigate my life the way I choose, instead of being programmed to watch the fucking morning news and do this and do that and systematically do whatever. Excuse me. So I implore you, question your life. You've done things always this way. Why? Is it because you were programmed, somebody told you, or because you truly want to do it that way? And that's what I'm doing fluidly in my home, in the privacy of my home. Hopefully private. I mean, I don't know. Actually, I hope that my wish for everybody is self-fulfillment and self-love and self-everything. So, like I said, if you're questioning, struggling, whatever, you are fucking worthy. You are worthy, and you are capable of understanding so much more of the beyond than you know. I implore you to open your mind, open your third eye, and just give it a shot. And know that you are loved and supported. And if you don't believe in God or whatever, like spiritual whatever, that's okay. That's okay. I'm not here to like force judgment or force anything upon anybody. question it. I'm like, yeah, be curious. Like, if you're an atheist, great. There's something greater than you, though, right? Go to the ocean. I heard this in an AA meeting once. Man went to the ocean and tried to stop the ocean. Can you stop the ocean? No. I mean, is that a power greater than yourself? Yeah. It doesn't have to be some spiritual realm thing. It could be this fucking cup who somebody made the word cup and we don't know who, but somebody said that that was the name for this. So why don't you make up your own fucking language, right? That's what I'm doing. I'm discovering my own world because I'm tired of people telling me what I should, shouldn't. Like, I mean, society tells us that. So I encourage you to explore life. I'm going to stop listening to what, like, society says so much, right? And that's why I love my bubble so much. So if you want to bubble with me, here I am. Let's bubble together and drink out of cups.